Hello, dear friends. Welcome. My name is Chris. For anybody new, welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy it here. Please do all those YouTube-y things like, subscribe, share, comment below. And thank you to all my returning friends and dear True Blues. I truly appreciate you. So today is the first day and hopefully 52 of what I'm going to be calling Mondays WIP and Music Mondays. That's it. Now this is going to be a little longer video than probably most of them will be. I don't know how long the subsequent ones will be, but probably not that long. This might be longer because I want to talk about first what it, later on what it is and get actually into it. But also I want to talk about music just in general. So before I start, I'm working on my little bubble round owl for Mindy and Jenny's fly creature event. So that's what I'll be working on today. I'm probably going to, when I do these, work on smaller stuff like this because it's easier to maneuver than having a big canvas about. And I always have two going. I usually have a large one. Well, not usually, but when I have a large one, I always have a smaller one because I like to do the smaller ones on the weekends or sometimes at night. So, just for an FYI, I might have to pause because, again, I'm not feeling all that great, quite honestly, but that's not really why I'm going to pause. If you see cuts in it, it's usually because I need to take a break because of my throat. I'm just not a talker, and whenever I do talk for like longer than 5 minutes, my throat gets all messed up. So, just an FYI, in case you see cuts. Okay, so let's talk about it. So when I first started my channel, I didn't do it really to be a YouTuber or a, creator kind of thing. I did it because I wanted to share my finished stuff with my friends, or my Facebook friends, and I didn't have very many, I don't have a lot of people I know, but just for anybody who was interested, I wanted to show them because what I would used to do is I would try to post videos directly through YouTube and recording, but it always turned out bad and janky and it didn't look right and it was fuzzy and I got kind of frustrated. Then I remembered, well, I actually do have a YouTube channel because I had posted many years ago a couple of music clips, not clips really, songs that were not anywhere else that I could find. So I put them up there and they were there for like 10 years, just those two on my channel. Not anymore though. I wish I would have kind of kept them up now, but when I was going through creator stuff, I decided to take them off, but anyways, that's another story. So, I decided to post the videos on my channel, my diamond painting stuff. And then when later on, I started getting more into YouTube, watching tons of different people, and then actually making friends and getting a little following by putting more stuff up. I decided I really would like to do something different because, everybody, you always want to try something a little different, make it your own. And so I wanted to do something different from a regular whip and chat because, as I said 1,000,001 times before, I have such a boring life. Again, I'm a recluse. I don't leave the house. I don't have really anybody I speak to besides my dad. So like in person or on the phone, I just don't. So I don't have anything to talk about. The only things I have to talk about are politics, which I kind of avoid nowadays because it's just too stressful, or myself, meaning my emotional mess of a brain. And that's too complicated and too involved, and nobody wants to hear that. So those are the only things I really have to talk about. So I never was able to do really good whip chats. And so when I started doing whip chats, I kind of, maybe I like introduced myself. I don't even remember at this point what I did. But I did a couple where I was doing like answer these questions type thing, which I'm not against doing more of those. It's just, I just don't have anything personal to talk about what's going on in my life. So I have to have some sort of thing going on. So I decided, let me try something with music. Now, again, was new to this. I don't know anything about anything, and I really didn't have any idea about copyright stuff until I was watching people's videos, and they would occasionally bring up something about music and copyrights and this and that, and I was like, oh great, well that idea is shot out, because if you can't use music in videos because of copyright, well then that idea is dead. And I was disappointed, but I always thought, well, maybe I'll find a way around it, this and that. And then later on, I was kind of thinking, well, maybe I'll do like a Patreon type thing where I could do it, but even that you're not supposed to do, and I don't really want to get involved in any of that. That's just a whole bunch of a mess. I do this stuff for relaxation, to get my mind off things. I don't need to do, both dime painting and YouTube stuff. So I don't need to make a huge mountain into all this stuff. It's going to take away the purpose of me dime painting in the first place. So I decided, the music idea is basically dead. And then I decided to do what I'm doing now, which I'll get to in a minute. But before I get to what we're actually going to be doing, and I hope you enjoy, and I hope, it's something, you'll come back for every week. And it takes a little bit of homework, honestly, but not really. Not homework as in traditional sense, but it takes a little bit to do after the video's done. Anyways, I'll get into the whole explanation of what I will be doing, but I first want to go back to the beginning of my music life, basically. So hold on. So I don't know about everybody else, because, I always think I'm a unique person, or my journey is unique, and I'm sure that's probably not true in some aspects, but I'm not somebody who really grew up caring about music, at least as a kid, or, I kind of feel like I came late to music, as kind of I'm an only child. And the only music I really heard were what was my parents played. So, they always played like the oldies and maybe some 70s, but generally just oldies, 50s, and 60s. So through most of my childhood into almost teenage years, that's all I heard. Because I never watched MTV, I never played with radio stations in the car. It just wasn't my thing. It's just not something I did, and you always see the cute things in movies or TV with kids, or anybody really, but a lot of kids changing stations. So I never did any of that. Whatever they had on, I listened to. Whatever was in the house, I listened to. Because that's another thing. When I was little, they used to play some music in the house, whereas later on, that never happened. We became kind of more TV dependent. So the earliest memory I can really remember of me having anything to do with music on my own is two things. Well, before I even get to that, it's more my friends, what they when they got into it. See, now, I'm not going to go into the whole explanation of my friends, but I basically had what I call 3 friends growing up, and they were kind of like think of it as like a triangle, and I'm kind of in the middle, because each friend, for whatever reason, for different reasons, I'll go into it. My one friend was not around all the time because she lived somewhere else. and we're friends through family, and I still consider her my best friend, of course. We've been known each other forever, since I was born. And so she didn't go to school with me or grow up near. Usually we spent the summers together. So that was kind of my friendship with her. Now, my other two friends actually lived by me on my street. And one was my age. And another one was probably a year, I think maybe year and a half, maybe two, but I think probably a year and a half, maybe, younger. And they kind of, I mean, not to sound conceited or anything, but it was kind of almost like a tug of war of who was going to get me after school kind of things. And that's what my mom used to always tell me. She used to be like, as soon as you came home, one of them would be calling up to come out and play, and it depended on the day who I'd kind of play with. And anyway, this, that, and the other thing. So those were kind of my three friendships that were going on, and generally none of them, we really didn't play together. Maybe the two friends that I had on my street, occasionally we might all play together, but not a lot. I don't know why, but it just was like that. Oops. Yeah, I don't want to forget what color I'm supposed to be doing now. Okay, E. So I say all that to say, my two friends who were my age, the one that wasn't near me and the one that was my age, they're the first kind of, that's the first kind of time when music was really introduced to me, or not even introduced, but in my surroundings, was around New Kids on the Block when they came out, because both of them liked them and had like posters and stuff like that. We didn't, not to my memory, because I really don't remember anything. I have the worst memory in the world. I don't remember ever sitting down listening to them together. Again, we just kind of did our own thing. I don't think listening to their actual music was a thing. So it was just, I know that they liked them by the stuff they had kind of in their bedroom. And so that was like probably 89, 90, 91, that kind of time, and I was born in 82, so, 10, 11, 12, something like that. That's the first kind of ever memory of anything to do with music outside my parents. And then the second time when I actually started myself getting into music was, I don't know when it was, but basically my first CD that I ever got myself, because I remember asking my parents for a CD player, and I remember the first CD I ever bought. So, and I don't know if this was a Christmas gift or not. I don't remember, but I know they did get me one. And my first CD I ever bought was the Bodyguard soundtrack, Whitney Houston. And I got that because, again, I don't know the whole circumstances, but I don't know when I seen the movie. I did see the movie, of course, but up the street from us lived these two women, and, my mom would always, often go up there to have, tea and cake and stuff, and it was kind of a nightly thing, and a lot of times I tagged along because, again, I kind of, I think I talked about this previously somewhere, that I kind of grew up kind of half playing with my friends and then half hanging out with my mom and her adult friends, so that's just the kind of kid I was. I just enjoyed hanging around with my mom and her friends. I just like listening to their conversation and sitting there, So, I know that they had a CD player, and at some point, they, either when we went up there one day or for whatever reason, the Bodyguard soundtrack was on and playing, and so I really liked it. Maybe they had just gotten, I'm thinking in my head, this is the story I'm coming up with. I don't know if it's true. They had gotten a CD player, and so they showed it to us and played the, some of the music from it, and I was like, that's really cool. And so, of course, as a kid, you want what someone else has, plus the music was nice. So that's the first CD I ever got. That's the first real interest I had ever myself in music, was the Bodyguard soundtrack. And again, the Bodyguard came out in like 92, I think, or 93, something around that time. And let's see. So I was basically almost a preteen by then, in those kind of years. And after that is when I remember, that's when I kind of, hold on a second, I have to, okay, sorry about that. So, we're moving on to like 94, and I believe it was probably 94 was the year that kind of the music side of me really blossomed, because I saw on MTV, it had to be MTV, or possibly VH1, because at the time, back in the 90s, VH1, I actually don't even know what they do now, honestly, but VH1 had a lot of comedy stuff back then. I used to watch that, and it was really very different from what it turned into then in the mid-90s, till, of course, what it is now, whatever they do now, which probably, again, is probably not much music related. So I was much more in tune with the VH1 than MTV. So I don't know where I saw it, but and the person or the artist that really got me was still, to this day, my favorite artist ever. I adore her music. I listen to it all the time. She's just my favorite, and it's Madonna. So it was Take a Bow. That was the song. I remember seeing like the documentary of the making of the video. I remember she had like this kind of bedtime stories, because that was the album, like viewing party or whatever. And again, that was, I think, on MTV, and it was a big thing. And so that was my really true foray into music. Whitney and the Bodyguard soundtrack kind of introduced me to music really on my own, but the Madonna music took me to a whole nother level and actually got me involved into music in a much bigger way. And even to this day, that album, Bedtime Stories, is my favorite Madonna album. The video for Take a Bow and the music, the actual song, is one of my favorites ever, still. And that's kind of how I got interested into it. And I got I'm somebody, even that back then, I guess, I'm like 100% all-in kind of person. Once I get into something, I'm like, dive head deep, or go right into the deep end. So by 96, basically, which is only a couple years later, I knew all her other stuff, and I was such a big fan. I remember one year I wanted to celebrate her birthday, which is August 16th, and I remember in 96, or I don't know if it was technically 97 at the time, when Evita was released, I got my parents to take me, and I used my birthday as an excuse, because my birthday's in January, and it was released, wider release in January. I got them to take me to a movie theater that wasn't very close to us, to see the movie. And so, again, that was only a few years removed from my introduction to Madonna and music. and music in general. And of course, through watching MTV for her stuff, and VH1 as well, you listen to other stuff, you get interested in other stuff. I remember not a lot from back then, and I don't probably have tons of music that goes back to that date that I would have picked up at that time. The only thing I remember was I was a big fan of those Now That's What You Call Music albums. Now they have like probably over 80 or something, but at the time I remember I was right in the ground floor that I had like the first and second one and third one and fourth one, and those were all like 90s kind of musics. Those were kind of, a lot of them kind of probably one-hit wonders, or just really popular songs at the time. And it's kind of crazy that, actually thinking about it, even now, that they would be able to put together that kind of compilation album, that studios would let them do that. How money kind of stuff works. And so anyways, that's kind of my story about how I got involved in music. And even today, I'm not completely involved. Like, I never really listened to the radio like a lot of people will listen to radio a lot. I didn't. That's not where I got my music from. The only time I would listen to the radio was like, I don't know if you don't live in the New York area. I would listen to Z100, and I would only really listen to the morning because I had school. So, and I always got to school really early on the days that I went. And so I would listen to the Elvis Duran and the Morning Zoo, which is still on, believe it or not. Like, what's that, 25 years later? Elvis is still there. Maybe some of the people are different, but that's what I listened to. And they played a couple songs here and there, but generally it's the, morning kind of talk and pranks and stuff like that. I don't know. And that's the only time I would really listen to it, even into adulthood. And plus during holidays, because PLJ used to, or them, I don't know if they still do or not. I know one channel around here still does. As soon as Thanksgiving hits, they play 24/7 Christmas music. And that's the only times I really would ever listen to the radio. Maybe in the past, well, I don't know when it was, but I used to kind of listen to it a little bit more when I would have to take my mom to work, or maybe when I was working at the time with her. I remember, what was it called? I want to call it Lime. I don't remember what exactly it was called. There was a station that I actually really enjoyed. That's not what it was. But most of the time I would just play my MP3 or, CD or whatever I had, at the time in the car. So, yeah, I was just never a radio person. Very little radio as far for music purposes. And even for music purposes on MTV and stuff, it's just rare, I don't even know how I found a lot of stuff, how I found it. But so that's kind of my music journey, as it were. I'm not saving these. I have so many rhinestones that for sometimes if I have little amounts like this, I don't even save them anymore. I just throw them out. If I have a good amount, I'll save them. But I have so many projects that I haven't even done yet with rhinestones that I'll never run out, even if I want to, because I save them to use in regular paintings. Alright, so let's go on to the next color. Let's see, what's this? 6 is N. Let's go into N. So that's kind of, I think, all I wanted to say as far as musical type journey. I got some songs from, strangely enough, too. iTunes used to do this thing. I don't think they do it anymore, and if they do, excuse me, I really am out of it. They used to offer, used to be able to get like a handful of free songs every week. And I didn't always take advantage of that because I was kind of just a lazy person and didn't want to go through that. But they had some free songs and I would listen to them, and if I liked them, I would just download them. And so some of them some of these songs you'll hear during this journey, I actually got through that process. And yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot of the other stuff where I got into, you know, just happened to come upon something, happened to hear it somewhere. Again, sometimes I used to go on iTunes and look through the top 100 songs and top 100 albums, stuff like that, if I felt like having some new music. I don't know. Let me see. Right now, in my iTunes, I have, let me see if it'll show. I have 2,946 songs. Now, not all of them are songs. First of all, there are some comedy stuff in there. There is a lot of classical stuff that I have downloaded in there that I don't really... They are songs, obviously classical is music, but I don't, listen to that regularly. And I had some classical, these album thingies that you'd get like from get one every week or every month, whatever it was. One of those type deals. And my dad actually liked them, so it wasn't a waste of money or anything. And so I kind of went through them and took the songs I liked from them. You know, it was just one of those things you do. You don't know why you're doing it. But I did that when I was much younger with that kind of like Lifetime classical stuff. So there's comedy, there's classical, there's a number of audio books in there. And what else? There's, sometimes I would just download a lot from an album and listen to it. So there's a lot of stuff that I actually don't listen to. And if I just deleted it, it wouldn't bother me because I do have playlists and I usually just listen to the playlist. I don't put random play on songs, all of the songs. I just do it on my playlist. So most of them I don't even really listen to at all. But occasionally it's nice to hear one of them. Like I'm just scrolling through right here. Like I have Adele's latest album, and maybe a couple of them are the only ones I'll listen to. The rest of them I probably heard once, or I just downloaded the whole album. And it's like, I don't really never going to listen to the whole thing. So, what was the other thing I wanted to say? I don't remember. Oh well, anyways, it doesn't matter. And I don't know if I was trying to make a point or not. No. I guess I'll just move on to the actual purpose of the video. So I'll just put this down so I don't lose thought. So what we're going to do here is this. As I said before, I can't play music. Unfortunately, I would love to do that because my plan was to do this. I'll tell you what my plan originally was, and you see how cool it was. At least I think it was. And it would have been great fun, but we can't do it. So I wanted to do a 52-week, again, sort of thing. So I would release one video a week. Excuse me. And I had planned to do 2 songs a week, which would be, 54 songs? No, not 54. 104 songs, I think, would have been, like, my top 104 songs, my favorite top 140, 50 songs, and I would have done it throughout the whole year. Wait, no. Did I say 54? I think a top 104, if that's right. 52 plus 52. I don't know. Anyways, maybe you want to wait. You do the math. So those would have been my top songs for the year. Now I can't resist looking. Yeah, 104. All right, I was right. So I was going to do 2 weeks. And what I was going to do was I was going to work on my canvas here. I was going to choose 2 songs. I was going to tell you what it was. Then I was going to either talk about it a little beforehand, then play it, and then talk about it afterwards. Then do the same thing for the next song. Talk a little bit about it before, then play it, and then talk about it afterwards. And that would be kind of the whip and chat type thing. But we can't do that. So I decided, let's do something else. Let's do the more dry, boring version and give you the quote-unquote homework. So this is what we're going to do. We're finally getting to it. I told you this was going to be a long video. I promise the other ones are going to be a lot shorter. So what we're going to do is this. I have decided to, as I said, do every Monday, do a video. I have chosen a song a day. So that means in every video, there will be 7 songs. I will tell you what it is. And I'll just go through them. I have my 7 right here. I will tell you the song and the artist and maybe any other explanation about why I like them or how I first discovered them, this, that, and the other thing. And maybe I'll touch on some of the lyrics. I'll touch on why I like the song. It kind of depends on the artist, the song, what it evokes in me, why I like it, what it's about. Some of them, it's just plain, I just like it and it's enjoyable. Others have more deeper meaning. Some artists, I want to tell you about how I first got into it, like the first one as a story. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about 7 songs every week. And this is where your homework comes in. So you could either decide to do, I hope you do this, even if you know the song, I truly hope you do this. And I hope you could do this along with me, because I'm doing this because music is such a major influence in my life. Well, I'll talk about that before I actually even get into the song, but I just want to finish the explanation. So then afterwards, either, you can pause the video and maybe leave and come back, or you can just watch the whole video. And I'm going to link in the description box the YouTube link to each song. I'm going to try, I don't know how I'll do it, as far as I prefer probably to just link a song and not a music video, because a lot of times you kind of get taken out of the song if you're watching a video. But if I can't find just a song, plain audio, I'll link the video, or I'll link whatever I can find in the description box below. And I truly hope that after you listen, well, if you want to wait till after, or if you want to do it during after every song I talk about and tell you about, it's up to you. And I hope you do it. I hope you go and listen to the songs and see why I like them. See if you like them. See if they're any good. Maybe you've never heard of this artist. Maybe you've never heard of the song. Or a lot of times, guess what? I have tons and tons of songs that I personally like that are in my list are covers. So they're not originally from the original artist. So maybe you might like this version. Maybe you might not like it. Again, I hope you all will check them out and let me know what you think of them. Because honestly, otherwise... Ooh, did that move? I had to find another... I must have missed a... I'll have to do that later. It's closed up. Sorry, I see a missing drill. So if, like I said, I hope you do this, because otherwise it kind of would be almost, is it worth doing this? Again, it took me a long time to organize this out of all those songs, to narrow it down. And the narrowing down process was really hard, because I had probably 200, I'll say 200, 205 songs that I really loved. This is the list, like my can't live without list. And that's and so it was really hard to narrow it down to wait, what am I saying? Not two. What? It's 360. What? I'm getting all confused here with the numbers. See, I'm so bad at numbers. Yes, it's a song a day. So 365. I meant to say if I said it wrong. I had over 400 songs. Now that sounds like a lot, and some of you might be like, I don't even know 400 songs. These are songs that I really absolutely love. I could narrow it down shorter, of course. But I just listen to these all the time. Or the ones I don't maybe listen to all the time, they mean a lot to me for a reason. And they're not maybe the most playable every moment of the day or every time I go to listen to music, so I might skip it. But I definitely couldn't live without never hearing it. So that's what kind of my list is about. And like I said, about 400 of them, I had to narrow it down to the 365. That was the hardest part of it. And I had to then print out a list of, doing it. And I had to do it randomly because I don't want you to all hear just the same artist in one video and all that stuff. Anyways, I just hope you enjoy it. Before I get to it, or I'm about to get to it, I just wanted to say, too, that music to me is important because it really, first off, I listen to it all the time as far as if I'm just in a room, if there's nothing on TV, or if I'm, let's say, with my dad and I'm not interested in what he's watching, then I listen to my music. If I'm in a certain mood, if I'm happy, I want to listen to a certain kind of music. If I'm sad, I want to listen to a certain kind of music. When I go to bed, I listen to music. Obviously, when I go in the car, I prefer to listen to my own kind of music. Or I go out somewhere, I'm waiting somewhere, I listen to music. It's always been really since, again, the late night, really high school time. After I had discovered Madonna, and it was kind of fun, and then I actually was getting in all my feelings about things and growing up and, general high school tumult and into adulthood tumult and all that stuff. Music really kind of helped a lot, and it really does mean a lot to me, and I still really listen to these songs, and they mean a lot, and some are just for fun too. So some of them are just silly songs, and that's okay. Not every song has to be, the most important kind of song. So, all right, I'm just going to pause a second, and we'll get actually into the first song. Okay, so let's start. So as I said, I printed out the whole 365 songs from iTunes. I did a playlist, and it printed out in the order that you put it in. I couldn't actually get a shuffle to print out. So what I did was I randomly went and put a number, like 1, and after on each page of a song there are 11 pages that printed out. So on each page I would go 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then the 8th page I'd put 2, 2, 2, after each of those to mix it up a little bit. So that's how it worked. And so we're going to start off with our first song, which is probably would go into like my top 50 of all time. Well, probably it would be in my top 50 of all time. And it's probably, or it is, why do I keep saying probably? It's my favorite of all time, I think, vocally song. And that is Cry Me a River by Barbra Streisand. Now, let me first say this. I was never into Barbra Streisand as a singer. Her music is actually something fairly new to me. Not that I'm saying I never heard a song by her before, but here's what had happened. So I actually liked Barbra Streisand as an actress. Ironically saying this, one of my top movies, and probably in the top 5 of all time, is Hello, Dolly. And you will hear a number of songs from that soundtrack on this list. And it is a musical, and of course she plays Dolly. It's one of my favorite films of all time. The music, the thing is, I just love it. And the music really brings me up when I'm feeling down. And so I like that. And I like her in, I think she did those Meet the Parents movies where I thought she was really funny in those. I love her in Funny Girl, again, another musical. It's not my favorite movie. It's not bad. It's not great, at least to me. It's just, it's a fun time. I like it a lot. And she's fantastic in it. And she's a fantastic comedic actress. I love her in the movie Nuts from the 80s. I love her, one of my favorite movies from the 70s, again, one of those farce kind of crazy slapsticky kind of movies, is called For Pete's Sake. I love that movie. If you haven't seen that, it's kind of more of an obscure movie, but she plays, just a quick description, I know this has nothing to do with music, but she plays part of a couple, and they're kind of like, I want to say they live in California or something, and so they're married, and she stays at home because I don't think he wants her to work or something, and he's like a cabbie, and they need to make money, so it turns into a farce because she decides or they want to invest money, and they buy pork bellies or something, or she needed money to invest, and they couldn't get it, so she had to borrow it from like loan sharks, and then her contract from different sharks got passed around, so she had to do all these things, like she had to deliver a bomb for one of these guys, she had to become a call girl for a madam, and so it was just hilarious. I would really recommend that movie. So anyways, moving on from that, long story long there, right? That song is one of my favorites, Cry Me a River. And, before I get to, also, I wanted to say that when I say that she wasn't really, I wasn't really into her music until recently, again, because she was, to me, as more of an actress than a singer kind of thing. Then one day I decided, just to look into her music. And like I said, I did know some of her songs, of course, and I really liked it. And I started from the beginning. And so for me personally, her very early stuff, which are basically kind of like American standards, which Cry Me a River basically is, that's the kind of stuff I like from her. After we get out of that, I'm not really a fan. It's just not my kind of music. Like her 70s, 80s, beyond that, the original stuff, that's not my kind of jam. And so I really like a number of her early stuff. You'll see me, or I'll tell you about other songs from her, at least a couple, I think, that are either from musicals or like a standard type songs. And that's what I like. Let me see what 7 is. Yep. Okay. So it's Cry Me a River. I decided not to give all the pertinent information, like, what album is it from? How long is it? What year? A long time ago. And as I said, it's my favorite her vocal song of all time. Her vocals on this are just outstanding. And when I say favorite of all time, I mean from anybody, not just her. I just think how she sings it is truly beautiful. I do have lyrics here. I don't really. It's a kind of very simple song. I could read, now you say you're lonely, you cried the whole night through. Well, you cried me a river, I cried a river over you. Now you say you're sorry for being so untrue. Well, you can cry me a river, I cried river over you. And it goes on, and it's a short song. It's a beautiful song. Again, it's in my top favorites of all time. I'm so glad I actually started with the top favorite and not just kind of a throwaway song. Well, throwaway, I mean like a silly song, and I do have some of those on here. But again, check it out below. I'll link it. So the second song, now it's not a throwaway song, but it is kind of, there's no emotional tug like Cry Me a River. There's a tug there. There's a feeling you evoke from her singing. This one is from Christina Aguilera. It is from her Back to Basics album, I believe. By the way, I think the Barbra Streisand one, the Cry Me a River, was from, I think it was called Barbra Streisand. I think that was her first album ever. So this Christina Aguilera song is from, I believe, Back to Basics album. It doesn't say it here. And it's called Welcome. It's kind of more of an interlude song. Again, this is a short song. And the album is sort of, I think it's a 2-disc album, and so the first part of the album is kind of inspiration, or not inspiration, but who she's inspired by, and it's like, again, back to basic, throwback to who inspired her, and a lot of the songs reference that and have that kind of feel. And the second part is kind of a little more different. I think this one opens maybe the second album, and it has a circusy kind of feel to it if you listen to it. And I love the actual lyrics in it, although it's not something we relate to because we're not celebrities or stars. But it's called Welcome, and it starts, "Welcome to the greatest show on earth you have ever seen before. Here the fairy tale unfolds. What's behind the smoking glass? Painted faces always wears a mask. Are you selling them your soul? Well, you can be left out in the cold. If it's all blue skies, fun and games until you fall, then you're left without anyone at all. When you're riding on a shooting star with a smile upon your face, but soon the shine fades, and you're left out all alone, wondering where do they all go? Jaded, hated, who will be around when the limelight's faded? Been shut down, pushed out, made to smile when I wanted to frown. Always taking a bow, always working the crowd, always making new grounds, always playing the clown. Who'll be sticking it out? Who'll be staying around when the lights go down?" So that's the whole song. I hope you can follow my fast reading. Now, while I don't obviously agree with the general aspect of being the celebrity, I do think there's a lot of, I take a lot of that, what do you call it? Meaning from some of those stuff about always smiling when you want to frown, who will be there when the lights go down, playing the clown, being jaded, hated, pushed down, pushed out, that kind of stuff. I think people can relate to this song, even if it's different from how it's presented as the actual song. And like I said, it's done in a circus type way. You hear that circus type music, and she's of course like playing like that ringmaster type thing, and it's again a beautifully vocal song. Her vocals are beautiful. I like the arrangements, and how the song changes at certain aspects, and it's just again beautiful song. Love it. Okay, so song number 3. Actually, I want to see, when was this out? I just want to see because Why didn't it do that? Sorry, guys. Nope, of course it didn't do what I wanted it to do. It's not. 1995. All right. I wanted to find the year because this is a song that's actually thrown back to my time. So, sorry that took so long, but it's actually thrown back to my time of music discovery, and that is Deep Blue Something. That's the band's name. It's from 1995, and it's Breakfast at Tiffany's. So I don't know, again, how many of you all would know this song. I know most of you, if you're not a Christina Aguilera fan, you wouldn't know Welcome. And while many of you might know Cry Me a River, not Justin Timberlake's Cry Me a River, although I think that song's on here because I love that song too. I don't know if you heard the Barbra song. But this song, if you're a 90s child, you probably knew, or millennial, you probably know Breakfast at Tiffany's. So again, it's a song from Deep Blue Something, and it's just it's like a fun song. It says, you'll say, we've got nothing in common, no common down, just ground to start from, we're falling apart. You'll say the world has come between us, our lives have come between us, still I don't care. And I said, what about Breakfast at Tiffany's? She said, I remember the film, and as I recall, I think we both kind of liked it. And I said, well, that's the one thing we got. You know, and, you know, it goes on, and the chorus is repeated a lot. And it's just a cute little song. It's I still listen to it. Of course, it's in my list here. A lot of stuff that I used to listen to didn't kind of make it in the list. This is one of them. I just, again, it's a song where I don't know much to talk about. I have not much to talk about as far as this is the only song I know from Deep Blue Something. There's no emotional connection like the other ones at least had some sort of connection. I don't have any connection with this one. It sounds really nice. I like their voice. I like how it's, you know, put together, and it's just a fun little song that you just want to, when you hear, you just want to sing. So, okay, on to number 4. It's As If We Never Said Goodbye. This is a cover from the Glee cast. I was a fan of the show Glee. You will see a lot of songs from Glee on here. Here is a warning. And they mostly did covers. They did a few original songs, but none of them made my list. But lots of covers, and some of them are group, some of them are duets. This one is a solo. It's from Chris Colfer, who played Kurt on Glee. And the song As If We Never Said Goodbye is originally, I believe, from the Broadway musical Sunset Boulevard, and it's sung by the Norma Desmond character. For anybody who's seen Sunset Boulevard, the movie, you'll know what the musical is based on from the movie. I've never seen the musical. I have seen the movie. It's a wonderful movie. And it's a beautiful song. It's a, I think the runtime of the song is like 5 minutes, but it's beautiful. And, Chris has a very beautiful voice. It is, for me, his voice is, I don't want to say hit or miss, because it's not hit or miss, but it's high. He sings high sometimes, and I'm not really a fan of high or falsetto. That I don't believe that's not really how it is in this song. To me, I really like his voice in this song. And so it says, I don't know why I'm frightened. I know my way around here. The cardboard trees, the painted seas, the sound here. Yes, a world to rediscover, but now I'm in no hurry. I need a moment the whispered conversations in overcrowded hallways. The atmosphere is thrilling here as always. Feel the early morning madness. Feel the magic in the making. Why everything is as if we never said goodbye. I spent so many mornings just trying to resist you. I'm trembling now. You can't see how I've missed you. Missed the fairy tale adventure in this ever-spinning playground when we were young together. I'm coming out of makeup. The lights are already burning. Not long until the cameras start turning, and in the early morning madness and the magic in the making, guess as if we never said goodbye. I don't want to be alone. That's all in the past. This world's waited long enough. I've come home at last, and this time will be bigger and brighter than we knew it. So watch me fly. We all know I can do it. Could I stop my hand from shaking? Has there ever been a moment with so much to live for? And the chorus again. So I think in this song his voice is a little higher, but it is done really beautifully. Again, the arrangements in the song, and I've never actually, I don't think I've heard another version of it, so I don't have anything to compare it to. But he sings it with so much emotion, and I'm guessing in the actual musical, it has to be at the climax of it, maybe at the end. I don't know, because that's kind of the big part, where this would fit lyrically. And so for anybody who watched the show, Kurt went to the high school where he was, and then he left to go somewhere else. And this is him returning back to his original high school and his friends, and that's why it's we never said goodbye, because he missed them and all that kind of stuff. And again, just beautiful lyrics, beautiful song, beautiful voice. Okay, now we're on to 5. This one is a Lady Gaga song, and you again, even if you all know her music, you might not know this. This is probably her. I don't know. I didn't look. Maybe her least successful single, or one of them. It was also one of the earliest songs of hers, and while it's one of my favorites, it's probably her only song that sounds the least like anything she's done. And the song is called AA, Nothing Else I Could Say, in quotations. It's from her Fame album, 2008. So there is a video. It's very poppy, this song. It's again, I'll just read the lyrics again. It's a kind of a short song. A lot. Cherry Cherry Boom Boom and Gaga. I hate when she does that. She puts her name in like almost every song. It's like, boy, we've had a real good time. I wish you the best on your way. AA. Didn't mean to hurt you. Never thought we fell out of place. AA. Hey, hey. I have something that I love long, but my friends keep telling me that there's something wrong. Then I met someone, NA. There's nothing else I could say. AA. I wish I never looked that way. AA. Anyways, it's that kind of song. It's a very poppy, very almost, if you want to say 60s-ish sound. It's so unlike anything she's done. But even the video is very cutesy and not her style, which I'm almost thinking, did they make her do this kind of song, But I actually really love it. I think I do enjoy cutesy and schmaltzy and that kind of stuff every so often if it's done right, and I think this one is done right. Again, there's nothing inherently important about it or beautiful about it. It's just a fun little pop song, again, that you could sing to and bop to. So, and by the way, before I move on to the next song, Lady Gaga is a very interesting pick on my list here, because I do have a couple more songs, I believe, with her, but I she has been her music career has a clear divide for me. I'm a fan of her early stuff. I absolutely hate her latest stuff. So I think she has like 6 solo regular kind of albums. It's The Fame, Monster, and Born This Way. Those are the albums that I love. I love a lot of the songs on them. Of course, not every song, but tons of the songs I'm just a fan of. I like her style. I like what she's saying, how they're put together. You know, they're just fun. When we move on to art pop, Joanne and Chromatica, hate. I don't like any of them. I don't think there's probably any songs from any of those albums that I like. I do know I have a few songs from Joanne, but I have never listened to them after I downloaded them. They were like a first listen and say, oh, that's okay. Never listened to them again. I absolutely hated Chromatica. Not one song did I like. And I think actually it may be the same thing for Art Pop. I don't think there was a song I liked on that one either. So there's a clear division for me between her early stuff and her later stuff. The last, like, probably 6-8 years, nope, don't like it at all. But I listen to the early stuff, so. Okay, 2 more to go. We're on to number 6, and we have the fabulous Michael Buble and Our First Man. Again, my life is surrounded by women, me liking women, female-centric movies, TV, anything, Friends, and that goes to music as well. But occasionally there's a man thrown in there, so I love Michael Buble. His voice is, as Barbra would say, like butter. He's fabulous. And, oh, hold on one second. Okay. And, so I don't think this is an original. I think this is most likely a cover. I can give you a little bit of information depending on when I wrote in here for the lyrics. It'll come up on the side. This is from the album Call Me Irresponsible from 2007. Again, I'm pretty sure this is a standard, and yeah, songwriters Cary Grant Gilbert, not him. So I'm pretty sure this is an old song. It's called Me and Mrs. Jones. Now, listen. If you could make a song about having an affair sound sexy and desirable and all that, that tells me something. What your voice can do. I mean, geez. Oh, let's do the lyrics. Me and Mrs. Jones, we've got a thing going on. We both know that it's wrong, but it's too strong to let it go now. We meet every day at the same cafe at 6:30 when nobody knows she'll be there, holding hands and making all kind of plans while the jukebox plays our favorite song, Me and Mrs. Jones. We got a thing going on. We both know that it's wrong, but it's too strong to let it go now. We got to be extra careful that we don't build our hopes up too high, because she's got her own obligations, and so do I, me and Mrs. Jones. Well, it's time for us to be leaving, and it hurts so much inside. And now she'll go her way and I'll go mine, but tomorrow we'll meet the same place, same time, me and Mrs. Jones. You know, so, I mean, again, his voice in this is fantastic. Again, the arrangements, the music is just unbelievable. I don't know if I've ever heard another version of this. I don't think I have. But again, like I said, to have a song, and I'm a very, in this sort of way, moralistic person. I'm like, to have one of your favorite songs be a song about having an affair, and you just love hearing it and singing it, and it's like, that tells you how good the song is. So that's all I could say. And he'll be on my list again. I just love his voice. I think he's sexy as all hell, and he's my kind of guy. So, oops, I got a hair in my painting. Okay, so our last song for the week. And again, like I said, before I end this, I hope you're still with me. This is an aberration this week's long video. Believe me, the other videos won't be nearly as long as this one. I had to do a whole lot of setup for this video. Okay, so our last song is Missy Higgins. It's from the album The Sound of White, and it's from 2004. It's classified as alternative indie pop, singer-songwriter, folk kind of music. Now, I believe this is a song that I got from the iTunes free downloads thing that I told you about earlier. And I'm so glad I got this one because I love this song. It so kind of encapsulates how I feel about things. And, well, again, not personally have gone through this, I could completely see myself in this sort of spectrum. What I find very interesting about this song, too, is that it's kind of, I don't know anything about her personally, but it's kind of written as like a song about, it's a relationship song, but kind of from a bisexual standpoint of view, which is very interesting. You don't hear that kind of thing. And I really like that. I like that it's different that way. It also has one of my favorite lines of all time, song or otherwise, or just regular quotes, and I'll get to it. When I get to it, I will tell you what it is. And it is exactly 100% how I feel about myself and my life. It's just completely me. And the fact that the first time I heard that line, I was like, oh my God, me. This is me. Okay, so let's do the lyrics. He left a card, a bar of soap, and a scrubbing brush. Oh, it's called, the song is called Scar. Sorry if I didn't mention that. So, he left a card, a bar of soap, and a scrubbing brush next to a note that says, use these down to your bones. And before I knew I had a shiny skin and it felt easy being clean like him, I thought this one knows better than I do. A triangle trying to squeeze through a circle. He tried to cut me so I fit. And doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't that hit you close to home? And doesn't that make you shiver the way things could have gone? And doesn't it feel peculiar when everyone wants a little more? And so that I do remember to never go that far, could you leave me with a scar? So the next one came with a bag of treats. She smelled like sugar and spoke like the sea. She told me, don't trust them, trust me. Then she pulled at my stitches one by one, looked at my insides, clicking her tongue, and said, this will all have to come undone. A triangle tried to squeeze through a circle. She tried to cut me so I'd fit. And doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't that hit you close to home? Doesn't that make you shiver the way things you could have gone? And doesn't it feel peculiar when everyone wants a little more? And so I do remember to never go that far. Could you leave me with a scar? And I realized just in time, although my old self was hard to find, you can bathe me in your finest wine, but I'll never give you mine. This is my favorite, one of my favorite quotes of all time. 'Cause I'm a little bit tired of fearing that I'll be the bad fruit nobody buys. How brilliant is that? Right, guys? Tell me, did you all think we dreamed the same? And then the chorus goes again. So, yeah, I'm a little bit tired of fearing that I'll be the bad fruit nobody buys. I tell you, I so relate to that song lyric. I like, it's kind of those things. I don't know if you all have felt this ever. When you hear something, whether it's a lyric, whether it's a quote, whether it's something you read or in a TV or movie, when something like just hits you, like it's literally like the whole ton of bricks kind of analogy, and you're like, oh my God, somebody gets it, somebody else feels this way. I mean, it's completely how I feel. That is one of the moments when I heard that lyric, I'm like, oh my God, yes, that describes me perfectly. I'm a little bit tired of fearing that I'll be the bad fruit nobody buys. Yep. And I thought it was cheeky too, the double entendre with fruit, by the way. And so, like I said, I like that it was told through kind of like a bisexual thing. First she was with the man and then the woman, and both of them basically trying to tear her up and, tear her down and, reprogram her into thinking that they're the only ones, that can ever truly love her, know her, if you only do what I tell you to do, all that kind of stuff. And she got lost and, needed really hard to try to find herself. So that's why she wants to be left with a scar. So it's a reminder of, don't go too far. Okay, so we have come to the end. That is it. So that's how it's going to work. So next week, when I do this, we're just going to get right to it, into the songs. As I said, I'm going to probably read some of the lyrics. I'll talk about a little about the artist, a little bit why I like the song. And it won't, like I said again, for the millionth time, it won't be anywhere near as long as this one. So I'm sorry. But, I'm a big explainer. So I hope you enjoy this. I truly hope you come back every week and listen to the WIP Music Mondays. And again, every song that I can find, which probably will be 99% of them. There might be a handful of songs that I won't be able to find on YouTube, because I think I've tried before and I couldn't find them. I will link every song below. Please, everybody, even if you know the song, if you heard the song, go listen to them. If you're, maybe if you're diamond painting, pop on the songs and, listen to them. What you could do is if you click on the link maybe and you just, take you to the song, and you don't want to, and you want to go back and forth, just hit save later, whatever you want to do. I don't know. But I truly hope you actually listen to them and see what I like about them. See if you like them. Maybe maybe if you hear them, you'll be introduced to something that you loved that you've heard before. Maybe it's the first time you'll hear it and you'll be like, oh my God, this is absolutely fantastic. I must get this song. I must download it now. And maybe it'll be important to you. Okay, so with that said, I have to go. I've kept you way too long. My throat is screaming at me to shut up, as I'm sure some of you are now too. So, thank you all for joining me for my first ever WIP and Music Monday, episode 1, premiere episode. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that YouTube-y stuff. Please go listen to the songs that I have linked below, and please comment. What do you think about this? Is there any way I can improve this? This type of how I'm doing the series. I'm not going to film again. I was going to film kind of a batch, but I decided, no, I'll wait till I hear some feedback. So, do you find this at all interesting? I'm going to keep doing it, and like I said, I hope some people kind of glom onto it and enjoy it. So, yeah. So, tell me what you think. Okay. So, everybody, please be safe, be happy, stay safe, stay happy. And until next time, thanks for listening all. Thank you, dear friends and true blues. Bye, guys.